So hey guys, this is Earthling 6455463728, and a little while ago I finished talking about smoking, how I started smoking and how I ended up quitting. And I saw a little bit of Kurzgesagt. Apparently, if you know of Kurzgesagt, they do these animations involving various scientific topics, and what I wanted to talk about is how I don't really see addictions as being special or like a disease. Even the more that I think about it, the more that's the position that I have with respect to drugs and addictions. I think now, but anyway, with respect to Kurzgesagt, they had an idea. I guess they had done some research and they'd come out with an idea that addictions are not really addictions kind of thing. And then someone was going to expose, there was an old video that they had up from a long time ago. And basically, maybe the theme that they had put in that particular video had been that, addictions are not really a disease. Maybe they're a habit or something. And that does not fall in line with the current thinking or current approved thinking as to how what addictions actually are. So somebody was going to do a piece on them saying, they did this horrible thing. I guess it's part of cancel culture. Just for the record, with respect to cancel culture, I don't think it's a new thing. I mean, you could just imagine when they were, people were looking for communists, or they were looking for Christians back in the day, or they were looking for whoever, wherever, whenever. People have always been looking for people to vilify for whatever reason. So I don't really think that cancel culture and where I am, it's not really too much of a big thing anyway either. We don't really cancel people here, but in the wider world, I guess that's more of a thing, I guess. Anyway, with respect to addiction, what I've come to think of addiction in terms of, smoking, in terms of other things that I've had that smoking, I guess, is an addiction. But I don't think that addictions are anything special anymore. I used to hear about them, or I'm an alcoholic, I'm a drug addict, what other kind of addiction is there? Maybe I'm a stalker, I'm obsessive compulsive or whatever. I don't think of these things as really being, oh my God, that's so special, you need to go to rehab. I think that's ridiculous now. Now that I think about it, for me, I think it's ridiculous. And why is that? I think what we're dealing with is simply people's personalities. I think someone's personality is the collection of their habits. And our habits are the things that we do regularly, that people can say, oh, Jill likes to do this, or John likes to do that, or... No, I'm aware that, for example, with respect to heroin or some other drugs, and maybe it's a lack of understanding on my part, but if cigarette smoking is an addiction, then I feel at least I should be able to have, that position to say, okay, well, I was addicted to smoking. And it could be that maybe I've forgotten part of what that is like. But from where I sit now, it feels like, what is the difference between me being addicted to smoking or me being addicted to being late all the time. I have a certain mental process that I go through when I'm supposed to be at a particular place, and I go through that, and it results in me being late. Or on the flip side, I might have a certain mental process that results in me being early. Or I might have a mental process where I lie about many things that I don't need to. Like, why was I late? I remember a time where I was late. Nobody was going to ask me why I was late, but I was going to go into, the traffic. And I was like thinking to myself after, why? Nobody asked me. Why do I have to lie to make up something as to why I was late? I was late, and it wasn't a good thing, and I'm sorry. Am I never going to do it again? Right now, this is not a habit that I'm dealing with, so I'm probably going to be late again a lot, but I'm late. But here I was lying about it. So, or even what are things that I do? I like to make sure that something gets resolved. I like things to be resolved. I'm not the kind of person who says or sees, oh, this is a problem here. And, well, especially if it's a significant problem that affects lives in a significant way, to say, okay, well, there's nothing I can do about that. That's not me. So, but there are people that I see who see problems and they just step over them. And that's them and this is me. And that's my personality and that's their personality. But as personalities go, all of these things are habits. They are concepts that we come up with and then we repeat to the point that we develop physical nerve pathways that we strengthen regularly by doing this thing over and over. Whether it's an addiction, whether people term it as an addiction or not, and then it's really hard to change that because it's a physical pathway that, even if you stop, it's easy to fall back into because that pattern is already in your brain as opposed to another pattern that you never developed. So, and an addiction, yes, it's something that has a harmful effect, but it could be like, I don't know, if I like to play with a coin, that has no necessarily harmful effect, but I like playing with a coin or playing with a pen or playing with my hair, or I like to eat Oreos by splitting them apart and then licking the cream outside of it. It's something that I want to do. Given the opportunity to do it or not do it is something that I want to do. Now, if somebody says, stop licking Oreos like that, or they say, stop playing with your hair like that, I bet you that would be really, really hard to do. And I bet you people might feel withdrawal from doing that. The habits that I've had to foster to say, this is a good habit, I need to start doing this, or this is a bad habit, I need to stop doing this. They've all been hard. And I recognize that especially the longer you're doing something, the harder it's going to be to stop or to adjust it. But I feel like I and everybody else is a forest, and in that forest there are animals that live that are contradictory to each other, and their habits, and some of them are big and strong from having lived there for a long time or having been a lot of food, a lot of attention paid to them, and some we choose to call addictions and some we don't. And then we say, oh, okay, you're so addicted. And others we might just say that's somebody's personalities. I think they're all the same thing. And I'm sorry to repeat that seemingly over and over and over, but that's what I've come to believe, that they're all just the same thing. I don't know. Maybe my idea on that might change later on. But I don't see another pathway. I think that's all this brain is. We make habits, and some we choose to label as different things, when I think that they're all very much similar. Of course, with respect to things like drugs, that you have like a certain amount of dopamine that like cocaine might put a certain amount of dopamine or some other stimulating enzyme or neurotransmitter into your brain at levels way beyond what could ever occur naturally. And as a result of that, your neuroreceptors or your body stops making that dopamine. So suddenly the only supply that you can get is from cocaine. I recognize that, that is going to be something a little bit different from anything else, because you really don't have that anymore. So you have to probably go through a lot of real physical implications for not having dopamine in you anymore, because your body doesn't make it anymore. You're only getting it from outside. So you probably have to actually go down. And I guess I have met people with respect to cigarettes. There was a guy who said that there was a particular smoking plan that he had been able to take because of his company offered it. And they had the amounts of nicotine that were in different cigarettes. And he started on the high end, and he went all the way down to the low end by knowing how much nicotine was in each cigarette. And he said it was really easy. He got off of it and he was done. So maybe, and that's the sad part of us trying to deal with those drugs that have such huge physical implications, is that they're illegal, so you can't just wean yourself off of it. You have to stop today because you need to stop doing some things that are illegal now. I mean, who wants somebody who's driving at 90 miles an hour, or you're driving with a big one of these ocean liners that are however many thousands of tons, and you say, no, you have to stop right here. Yeah, no, those things, or a train, it's hard to stop a train. You can't, that, like that ad, you can't stop. You have a certain amount of momentum built up from years and years, or from doing it so frequently. You can't tell somebody that they have to stop. You have to stop a car and go in the opposite direction right now. That's how you have a car accident. That's how people die. And the same way that's how somebody dies, if you need to turn right away and you need to stop going from 90 miles an hour, or you need to stop an ocean liner on a dime, it's not going to do that. It's going to destroy the entire pier. It's going to destroy the entire port, because it can't be stopped on a dime like that. Same thing with a car. So it's just really, that's a modern absurdity. I think that I need to do one about that. Now I'll write that one down. Anyway, guys, wish me lucks. You can like or unlike. You can comment. You can subscribe and or share. And I'd appreciate it. So, thanks. Peace.